Hello, hello?
It should only be in one ear.
It'll be left.
So you heard, you did hear before, right?
Hello, hello? Yeah, I can hear it coming out of here.
You can?
Yeah. Hello, hello? Hello, hello?
No, it's we need to be on the opposite side that he does it on. So if he could come back doing it this way, across, or else we'll move over there.
Yeah, you gotta talk to him. Tell him.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
If you could do it right here, I mean, on that side.
Okay. Yeah, do it.
Loud.
Does it work?
But can you hear it?
Hello? I mean, it's really hard to tell.
Maybe somebody else listened and you spoke. Just here.
It comes through the right side. See, it's so close, that's the thing. Hello, 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 hello? You can hear it comes through the right?
Here, let me just...
You know why it didn't work?
Hello? Carl, is that your name?
Yes, Carl
Brian
Reagan.
Ruff. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Brian.
So this is where you work?
This is my place of business.
You own the shop? Or?
Yes.
So let's talk about your club. You're the president, I guess.
Yes. I've been the president since the club began.
How long ago did it
It's
start?
been about, what is this, our 6th year? I think 6th year.
How many people did you start with?
Oh, I guess in the initial beginnings there was 8 or 10 of us. Some roughly, I'm not
Were they all
exactly
like,
sure.
you were all pretty good friends and just started?
Yeah, we all
together?
became acquainted through the classic motorcycle clubs of Washington.
Oh.
That's where we all really, for most of us, at least that's where I met everybody. I've become involved with motorcycling.
So what do you do as club president? What's your job there?
Basically, really, all I do is administer the meetings, try to arbitrate any controversies that are occurring in the club, just sort of be a mediator, a buffer for between the members and the officership. And occasionally, although lately it's been real occasionally, write something for the newsletter. It's really about all I do. The real hard-working people in the club, as far as I'm concerned, are Jody Heintzman and Jim O'Keefe, Rich Ferguson, Gail, the treasurer, Gail Perry. She's a real enthusiastic member and does a lot of work. The biggest job in the club is putting out the newsletter.
Yeah.
Jody takes care of that.
How big do you think the club will get eventually?
I wouldn't hazard a guess as to how big the club may get.
Did you like it better when it was a little bit smaller, or do you have a lot of fun now that it's really large and it's really active?
Personally, I just enjoy the activity. It
Just
really
getting
doesn't
around.
make that much difference to me how many people are involved in it. If I
Yeah.
want to go for a ride by myself, I can still do that.
That's true.
Or I can get together with a small group of my friends and have a small group. I think it's real optional.
So you don't
There's-
feel a lot of pressure to, as president, to really control
I don't
and be involved
advocate setting any size limit. I think
Yeah.
when you do that, you limit whatever potential you might have. I don't. At that point in time, it becomes a selective group, and that's what we were trying to get away from when we started the VME, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty loose organization. It's kind of, you can.
Well, that's the way it should be. It's a hobby. It's not a business.
Yeah.
In business, you got to run a tight ship or you'll go under, but we're not trying to make a profit. We're just there to have a good time. That's what I think it's all about.
Yeah.
Have fun and
Yeah.
enjoy yourself, and as soon as it becomes a job, I don't want any part of it anymore. Sign me out. I got all the work I can do here.
So why did you get interested in motorcycles? Did you like working on them or just riding them when you started, or?
Well, I liked them ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Always said I'd own one. And I bought my first one when I was in the service. Like I said, I've had them ever since. Still enjoy riding them. There's just, to me, a certain experience on a motorcycle that you don't get anywhere else on the ground, anyway.
Basically, I've become involved because I really like to see a club active in our mission, which is to restore, use, and show off our vintage collections, as well as riding. We have a lot of rides. We spend a heck of a lot of time on the road in the summer, and we've got some real special events that are getting bigger and bigger. We had 500 motorcycles at the Isle of Vashon this year. And basically, I've been riding for, well, I started when I was 13, and I'm 40 now, so that's quite a while.
So what do you do as vice president?
As little as possible. Oh, I do a lot of things. I'm pretty active in the decision-making process and evaluating different ideas that club members might bring to us. I help Carl chair the officers' meetings as well as the general meetings. I also take care of, along with Jody Heintzman, any legal situations which might occur. Well, the worst accident I ever had involving motorcycles was I broke my back. And I wasn't moving and I wasn't on the motorcycle. I was working on it, and it fell off a stand that it was on, and I didn't see it until it was too late, and it just bent me over and blew one of my vertebrae in half. But I didn't even go to the hospital for that. For one thing, I didn't know I was hurt that bad.
Yeah.
But after about 3 days of not being able to walk, I finally figured it out. Went to the sports medicine clinic, and it was amazing. I mean, I could not get into a car, but I could ride my motorcycle just fine. And I just couldn't bend down and get into a car. And then last October, I took a nice one and tore half the left side of my motorcycle off. But here again, it was my own fault. I was going too fast around the corner and ate it. And that time I cracked a bone in my arm and cracked some ribs and dislocated a shoulder, and it wasn't too bad. Without safety gear, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. Personally, I think riding a motorcycle, especially a BMW, is the closest thing to flying that there is. And the sensations are very much the same, and when you stop abruptly, the results are sometimes the same. You know?
My role in the VME is a secretary, and the way I got into being a secretary of the VME was a friend of mine, Dave White, lives on the island. We were talking about starting another motorcycle club. We were going to start a British motorcycle club. We said, yeah, we have British bikes. We want to start a British motorcycle club. So we started talking to other people, and other people weren't too hot on the idea of a British motorcycle club only. They wanted something more general. And so we started listening to them and started changing our plans and everything around. And pretty soon the VME came up. It was kind of a group idea, and it just kept growing and growing. And I've been the secretary now for 5 years, and I really enjoy it. It does take, I wish I could give it more time. Now that I'm in school, I have to kind of cut back on my time I spend with the club. But it's really a great club, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of nice rides around Vashon, like the one we took today.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your motorcycle collection?
Well,
Start with any of them.
Well, when I first started riding motorcycles, I just rode it for the fun of it. And later on, I started picking up other motorcycles, and people started telling me that because I was buying all these old BSAs and stuff, I was really getting a collection. And I really didn't think of it as a collection. I thought of it as these are bikes I always wanted to have. So after a while, it started to be like good investments and stuff. And every time I'd see a good, nice bike when I was working all the time, I just kept putting my money into old motorcycles. And I thought it was just, it was good to have them around. It was fun to restore them, and it's always fun to ride them.
So why
Nice
do you
piece.
have so many motorcycles?
I don't know. It just kind of just came about. It just all of a sudden I had one, then another one, then another one, and I wasn't really counting. It just all of a sudden they're so easy. You can just kind of stack them next to each other in the garage, and this year after year there's just more and more of them. But I've stopped. I started I don't know, going to school, and that's taking up all my money right now is going to school. Maybe someday I'll start buying bikes or something again. But right now I'm going to be in debt for a while going to school. But I'm glad I, stopped for a while.
I'm the editor. Involves doing the newsletter, and also I do a lot of the paraphernalia, sales, T-shirts, pins, and wherever else I can fill in.
What do you like about the VME?
The friendship and the interesting bikes and the rides, and there's always something happening.
Is it always something like
Right.
last night?
Always something.
Yeah. Is it a lot of work being an officer in the VME?
Yeah, but I don't really look at it as work. I look at it as I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun for me. It's kind of like a hobby.
Looks like you do a lot of work in your shop here.
Yeah, it's kind of an escape. A little clubhouse I've never had. Adult toys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a nice garage.
None of these bikes look like they ever get used.
They get used, yeah. Well, yeah.
A lot of work on them.
No, it's just fun to come out and polish. My theory is you're actually, the more rubbing and the more you're groping around in these things, the more you find out problems that could occur if you're not doing anything to them. So there's a reason for polishing just besides being polished. It keeps them on the road too. You find loose wires or a lot of preventive maintenance. And I always say that if I'm going to have it, I'm going to drive it. I don't want something that's going to sit in a corner or collect dust. And as you can see, this garage is pretty tight as it is. So.
The other one.
Well, I am the treasurer, and I have been since June. Took over for Greg Parks, and keep the books going, and write checks, and make sure everything's balanced. And
What kind of things does the club do that it needs a treasurer for? That's okay.
well, basically, they're putting out a bi-monthly newsletter, and that takes part of the club money plus the events that they put on. We raise money, and like at the end of this year we're giving 10% of the profits to a organization who we feel is needy.
Is your husband involved with any of the, as an officer or anything like that?
He's not an officer, but he helps me out and takes me to the meetings on the bike. So, and I'm sure at some point he will become involved. And
Yeah. I'm wondering you wanted to be a treasurer or wanted to be more involved behind the scenes. There's something, whereas your husband isn't. So it's more, your husband kind of brought you into the club.
Right.
And he kind of introduced, you to that. And then you kind of went on beyond him a little bit and wanted to be more a part of the club. I was just wondering, maybe because
more social
there's not as many women in the club that maybe you.
That might be part of it. Plus, just the feeling of being more involved. And since I don't ride a motorcycle, it's something that I can do. I like people to be aware that, I like to ride. I ride with my husband on a Harley, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person.
Kind of the stereotype.
Right,
of a
yeah,
biker.
and there's a lot of stereotype out there, and that's an image that I'd like to erase, because it's a fun sport.
British Columbia. These are good until March 1988. It's a 15-month calendar, and they laid them on us, and we're selling them tonight. Do I have two?
There he is.
Why is that guy standing on the fence? I don't understand.
You can hear him really good from up there, too. Good idea. That light looks really natural. That right there looks pretty good.
So how many people back there in the meeting? Let's see, about 10, 15, 20.
Just about
maybe
15.
30 people for a meeting.
Well, that's not the That's not the whole show. There's a whole bunch more in back, and there's a whole bunch more on the side.
And behind the cameras, there was a bunch too. Didn't want to go out.
Yeah. Some people asked me about that. They said they wanted to stay out of the shots and stuff. They didn't want to be in front of the camera.
I wonder why that was.
This is when I was asking Dave White about his tie.
Go to the element.
It's funny. He's got to go back home.
You buy a used car from this man.
His handlers are great. I mean, he's really. He'll probably be on for about 10 minutes during the dinner for sure. Which we'll go to a 10 minutes.
So this way, is this like a normal meeting for you guys? This is about the way it usually goes.
Pretty normal. That guy usually talks a lot more. He held it down that night.
He's probably nervous.
He's the only guy at the whole meeting that took Carl's suggestion seriously and did the logical thing and wore his sunglasses inverted.
They're round.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me. Well, I'll bring a different pair next time.
These are weird sunglasses.
How come there was a lot of people out front? But there wasn't nearly as many in the meeting. A lot of people just like to go hang out.
Yeah, for sure. It's more, and it's pretty tedious. I could see it. It'd be pretty tedious being back there watching the whole thing, unless you were involved. You know, something was going on. You know, if you're not really involved with everything, things that are happening in the club, it'd be pretty tedious to sit around.
So a lot of the people who show up out front, they're not like in the club. They just come to park.
I don't know what the percentage is that shows up that's not members. I bet you it's only 10% is not members. I think it's all mostly members. That a lot of the members just know there's nothing to go back there for unless you really got something to hash over.
Right.
You know? No reason to come off the street if you're.
They enjoy what's happening, and they're just there for a social thing and they check out the bikes and talk to people.
So did anyone really object to us filming there?
Oh,
No, nobody objected at all that I ever talked to. Just a couple people said they didn't want to be filmed, and that was about it.
It seemed like I was watching people out. It seemed like, I mean, no one would really come right up and start talking to us when we had the cameras and we're pointing around, you know. If we went up and if I went up and started talking to some guy, you know, like talking about his bike or something, usually it was pretty open.
Right.
But
breaks the ice.
Yeah, but you know.
They get intimidated with all this kind of
stuff. But like if I saw someone.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a car club, you'd have the same situation.
Right.
If it was a group of doctors who were at a scaffold convention, you know, they'd feel the same way. It was your step.
It was like Rich said too. It was really kind of chaotic.
You're both leaving.
Yeah, it is. It's chaotic if you don't know what's going on there. If you walk in, you probably think there was no meeting or anything was going on.
Yeah,
4:43 shit.
Flies that keeps going.
Well, I have 7 minutes to get to the ferry terminal.
No problem.
If I walk really fast.
It takes a long time for him to get ready.
What do you mean I was born ready? Who said that?
No.
Who did I just steal that?
No.
Well, where's my helmet?
I don't know. You probably left it.
I thought I had it here.
I think somebody walked off with it.
He's that damn cat. Matchless, where's my helmet?
Matchless, is that your cat's name?
Yeah.
I want a fast one.
Okay.
Is it just
Well, see y'all later.
Okay. Thanks for coming out, Steve. It was a lot of fun.
See you, Steve. Okay.
Adios.
Adios.
Hey, for God's sake, be
That's
careful.
for you.
Yeah, let's be careful out there.
Never drink soil water.
I'm trying not to. Okay. Boy, Jack.
How do you work one of these?
I can't believe it. Jack has been on it for a long time.
Went on for about 15 minutes.
Really? Jeez. What are you talking about?
Didn't see me.
It was at least 15 minutes.
Every
time I looked over.
We just, I don't know, we just talked for quite a bit about a few things, I guess.
These all gonna be
Yeah, you can go sit over there too, and we can like all get
This is Lucas.
That's pretty.
There's Phil.
They must have had that strapped right there.
Yeah, it's got to be somehow strapped.
Oh, outdoors.
Oh, that's it. This is these kids. These kids are just great. These kids are just what? This is funny. It's really funny. Watch they won't stop. They won't stop. Look at. Get out of here. Look at. Bottoming kid, get out of here.
Come up a little bit.
They're coming back.
Get here for a second.
What are you doing?
It's for school.
Yeah, you're kidding about him.
Go away.
I'm not going away.
Big bite. Go away.
Are these all like leather jackets with some legs? Yeah, they're all going in there. And we're eating.
For what? Eating over there?
We can walk through.
Priscilla's getting a little pissed off.
Yeah, I was like, you idiot.
Sounds great.
So we're on the tape.
Did I knock you down?
That's right.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, film me.
Film me, yeah, film me.
Hey kid, how's that guy with a broken leg?
You're out of focus, you idiot.
You see his hands come out.
Yeah, right.
Somebody's
Suddenly disappear.
Somebody's gonna get pissed at me.
Alright, kids, get lost.
They left.
They ran.
They ran. They thought that was it. They pushed us hard.
There's Looper right there. There he is. Can you back that up just a little bit? Let's see what the beginning where he came in here. Looper should be in this because he's like one of the beginning. He was there right from the beginning when we had those first meetings.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Luke in here.
Good.
There's some other stuff we know, but he doesn't even know he's been.
Yeah.
Because he showed
A
up
lot better than this.
Yeah, good.